I have a goal for this space. I have a goal. If I get like two gifts in this space, I'm going to sing my rendition of Bella Ciao. Bella Ciao. Yeah. For those who may not know the song, let me just sing it. Like a brief version though. I'll sing the full one if I get my
Yeah,
targets. But let me just give the brief one. So
guy,
if you've
Jay
watched
dey
The
sing.
Heist, if you've watched Money Heist, bro, I waiting TikTok don't do us with this. If you've watched Money Heist, you would have heard the song before. Oh Marcelino, Imosirano, Bella ciao, bella ciao, 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 Marciano, Ionine, Osinori, Anisa. I was just chopping out, but yeah, that was like a
Yeah, that was
famous
like.
anti-fascist song that they were singing against Mussolini in Italy that time. But I think it just stuck with everybody after that, after World War Two. So it's still one of the top songs at least for me, sha. I like the song, and they
Oh,
still
I like
chant
the
it
song, but
anytime there's a fascist stuff. Yeah,
I like the song, but I didn't know it was a historically like I didn't know the
you
history.
know
I
that
didn't even know it was a
there's massive history behind the song. Oh. There's massive history behind the song. You know that the killer of Charlie Kirk, Tyler Robinson.
Yeah.
You know, like on the bullet casings that he used to shoot Charlie Kirk. One of the bullet cases, one of the things that he wrote there was Bella Ciao. I don't know if you read the news or saw it.
Yeah, like I don't as you know, I know he wrote some stuff on his gun
Mm,
and maybe the bullet casing, but I didn't know that he wrote like Bella Ciao, like, and even if he wrote it, I didn't think it
you didn't know
was.
the
Yeah, I didn't
implication.
know the context. So I just like Chow means buy now
Yeah, they are like saying good riddance to the fascists. That's like the
oh.
um, that's like the summary of the song basically. Like
So
goodbye to the fascist.
what's the
So
Bella in
the Bella. Bella is actually Bella does not necessarily mean fascist. It's used to refer to it's
yeah,
like a
because
term
that's
for
what I
something that is beautiful.
yes.
Yeah. But the you know when sometimes there can be a literal meaning to something and then an implied meaning like beneath it, you
Yeah,
understand?
yeah,
So the the when they were protesting against Mussolini, the anti-fascists, when they were protesting against Mussolini, they usually sing this song. It's like a Italian song for whenever you are saying good riddance to something. It's not really about it's the literal meaning is beautiful, like buy beauty or something, but the implied meaning is
yeah,
like good riddance. Good riddance to you,
yeah,
you understand?
yeah, yeah,
So so Bella Ciao is like a and it's like an Antifa slogan. It's an Antifa slogan basically. If especially even in the US nowadays, like Antifa uses Bella Ciao as their it's one of their main slogans. Like whenever they are writing on statues or writing on walls, you see Bella Ciao there. So they are using it in reference to the anti-fascist movement against Mussolini that time. So yeah, that's the meaning behind the song. A lot of people sing it because of money heist, but they don't really know like
like
what it was
I
speaking
knew
about.
I knew this song even before Money Heist. Like I knew the song, but I just thought it was like a fun song. Like maybe people
Mm,
just dance it, like all these sort
mm,
of white parties where everybody's
yeah,
dancing around and everybody's now singing. That's what I was even thinking. I didn't even know it was like it had a political context to itself.
it's a political song. Oh. It's like singing. We no go gree, oh, we no go gree. We no go gree you, we no go gree. Something something, we no go. Yeah, that's like the Italian form of the song. But if you now travel abroad and start singing we no go gree, and you now put correct beat behind it, they go just dey sing, they no go know say na struggle song you dey sing.
Yeah, I get it though. I get
Yeah,
it. But
yeah.
okay.
Although to me, like, I think Mussolini had a good dream. He loved Italy. Just based on my historical like studies of him, he loved Italy a
Oh
lot.
God.
But
So
he was pushing. Calm down now. I didn't say he was a
okay,
good guy. I never said that.
okay,
Calm down. I'm not. Before you
okay.
start calling me Nick Fuentes, calm down. I'm just saying like he loved Italy, but uh, he was pushing them to a state where they simply were not ready for. Like he wanted Italy to be like as strong as Germany, as strong as even Franco's Spain and all of that, and Britain. But they were just not those sort of people, at least at that point in time. He was trying to so much, he was too nationalistic for the period of time that he was in, and he ended up destroying the country, unfortunately, and also his greed and selfishness too played a role. But I feel like he started off with good intentions.
Guy, every
But that's just my
every
perception.
everybody will say they started with good intention. Did Hitler not love Germany? Hitler loved Germany now. Hitler loved Germany like a lot. Like in fact,
Like
he didn't.
Mussolini. Wait, yeah, like yes, Hitler did love Germany, but he hated Jews. Like he hated Jews. He hated blacks. He hated people that were not of the pure iron race, basically. But Mussolini did not hate people like that. He was very pro-Jewish even before he now started
Yeah,
mixing with
he was
Hitler.
not really an
He
anti-Semite
wasn't,
like that.
yeah, he wasn't like
He
against
was just
anybody
like
per se. He was
everybody
more
just
pro-Italy.
just come to, yeah, just come together,
Yeah,
build
he was
strong.
more focused on exactly. But when he started ruling with Hitler, he needed something to like galvanize the Italian base and all of that. So the Jews like ended up being like part of the collateral. That's why I said that he ended up, a terrible leader. But at least his initial
I don't believe that
um,
initial whatever.
operations to
Don't be
me
too
were quite okay.
it's too whitewashing. Like it's not
It's
like
not whitewashing now. It's the full scope of history. I'm not now. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's he's like I'm not saying he's somehow justified or he's like a good character or something. No, I'm just saying he started off well. He started off with good intentions rather, but he ended up destroying both the country and his intentions changed along the way. So it's just more like a lesson to idealists and people that are like seeking to you know develop their countries not to go to the extreme, right? It's a reminder of the dangers of extremism basically. And when you are so focused on achieving a goal that you are willing to do virtually anything to get there. So to me it's just a caution tale. Just a caution tale.
anyway, I'm not a fan of all this strong man politics. So there's nothing anybody will tell me that like I don't like strong man politics. I hate it. Like I despise it a lot. Like
But sometimes it's needed though.
is needed though. Like sometimes I won't lie. Like it has worked in in different situations, as we've said before, like
uh,
Singapore, um, even Britain, like during the World War II, like Churchill was sort of a
yeah,
strong man, like maybe not
sure.
in terms of
Yes
a
now.
political bully per se, or like, but he
Mm,
was a strong man. He was a strong
yeah.
man, and
I'm hearing you.
Yeah, and I feel like his role in the war is sort of underrated now. His role in the war is sort of underrated. I like the fact
Do you
that
mean his role is starting the war or ending it?
how did he start the war? He did not start the war now.
Some people were like, according to Tucker Carlson's favorite historian, Churchill wanted a war with Hitler,
That's
and
what. Mm,
like there were, according to him, there were so many other concessions that could have been made. So many other, like Hitler was trying to make a peace deal basically with the British after they conquered after they conquered France and all of that. But Churchill just wanted to go to war, and eventually it led to every other
that's
thing that we see.
that's such a dumb narrative. It's so stupid. Sometimes I can't even believe I'm even hearing something like that. Like what exactly do you think is going to happen? Somebody like that. First of all, Churchill was not the person that declared war on Hitler. He was not the prime minister as at then. It was Prime Minister Neville Chamberlain that
Mm,
was the prime minister as at that time. Before then, Hitler was as I say, he was already annexing territories. Took Austria.
yeah.
Okay, everybody looked away. Took Czechoslovakia because he wanted their steel. And Prime Minister Chamberlain went and they shook his hand and they granted the concession to him. And he didn't stop. He still went and attacked Poland. So was he really going to stop? I feel that's just a dumb. He was going to take state, every single state eventually. And the
I
fact
think
that you are
according to what
saying,
the guy said,
mm,
according to what he said, is like Churchill never planned to go beyond France because like France, like Britain is an island on its own,
yeah,
right? So the after you enter Belgium and then you from Belgium you invade France, you have to stop there. You can't really invade Britain. You have to cross the sea, basically, to get to
yeah,
Britain.
okay,
So in his mind, it was like after the French invasion and all of that, like Hitler was willing to make negotiations with Britain, basically, to like just like keep everything in a state or store or basically like a ceasefire, right? At that point in
okay,
time, and that if he agreed to it, so many lives would have been saved and all of that. But that Churchill was very intense on like prolonging the war and keeping it
whoa,
going basically to ensure that the Germans were conquered. And
okay,
ultimately that now led to what you saw with like is it Doomsday they call it or what they call it again? That final day where they bombed
dress,
what's the name of that Dresden they I
dress
think
then,
say Dresden, yeah,
it,
they bombed it to
again,
pieces basically both, yeah.
it's,
So it's
you
like
see,
Churchill was like the one that felt those things, and those things could have been avoided basically.
again, that's a lie. Because those people first bombed British cities. That is why they retaliated. They bombed British cities. In fact, Old Trafford, Old Trafford for Man United was bombed. That time they called it
Hmm.
the Blitz. They bombed British cities. I don't know where he's getting that lie. And okay, let's even say, he just wanted to start a war. That was why. let me now burst the bubble. Okay, that they could have granted some concessions to Hitler and it would have stopped. So why did Hitler declare Operation Barbarossa? Why did he declare war on Russia? If he was just somebody that wanted some part of Europe and would have stopped, why did he declare war on Russia?
I think there was a reason why he declared war. I can't remember the exact reason. Welcome, actually. There was a particular reason why he declared war on Russia. I think it was um I can't remember the exact reason.
To me,
There was like an
the
initial agreement between him and Stalin.
Stalin did not break any
So,
agreement. Stalin did not break any agreement. Stalin even annexed part of Poland, like at that in the initial phase of the war. But Stalin stopped. He didn't do anything else. Hitler kept on taking territory after territory. He took Netherlands. People even forget some of the countries that he took over. And then was working with some dictators in countries like Finland, like then he made Portugal remain neutral, and Franco stayed away too. So it's not like this guy was ever really going to stop, and he always had the plan that he was going to take Russia because he called it living space, like Lebensbrau or something in German. So, and he detested Slavs. He called them subhuman, untermines, subhuman. So this guy was always going to be that guy was a tyrant. Like he always had
but
a,
was there like
a
any like resource like perspective for him invading Soviet Union? Because to me, I
of
don't really
course
see the
of course the land,
what could
their
have
oil,
motivated him.
the land, their oil, their food, everything, like the food that came from Ukraine, then the oil
Yeah.
in the Caucasus, and then obviously the massive land that they would have gotten, basically, because I mean Aryan race is going to dominate the whole of Europe now. So uh like I mean now it was very obvious what this kind of person is. I hate this revisionism, man. Like the guy was even trying to
Yeah.
lie
I
that
think that's just one of the things that I dislike about the Carlson. Like
that the
he will
Jews
bring
were.
in
He'll bring in a guest that will say something that he can't say with his mouth because he
one
knows the
lie.
implication. And then he now
Yes,
starts
now.
egging the person on. He starts like trying to
Mm-mm.
play
I said,
like,
oh my god, I never knew that. How come you never told
he
about
starts he
that?
starts trying to act
Freaking idiot.
curious. Bro. So that's like my issue. Like this guy had like
That
did
guy
they
is
not really,
extremely pretentious.
that's the thing. Like my Kampf came out like why is like what's the whole revision shit? The guy wrote a book. The guy wrote a book. Look at what he called Jews. Look at what he called Slavs. Look at how he was always talking about how they will own Europe, but for Britain they would have been like a sort of cousin race to them. But
Mm,
obviously they
yeah,
are it's still sort of a lesser cousin. It's not like they are like
yeah.
so that's an evil person. Like let's not whitewash evil. Yeah, that guy is the height
That's
of
why.
evil.
That's why I think that can even lead to like the one of the first topics. I think I wanted to start with Dangote, but anyway, we are already here. So over the weekend, you saw what happened. I don't know if you saw what happened with Ben Shapiro and Dr. Carlson over the weekend at the
I didn't
TPUSA's conference.
I didn't see it. I didn't see
Okay.
it.
Oh, okay. I'm not
I
aware
know
of
he
it.
went to I know Ben went to TPUSA, but I didn't know of anything that happened with Tucker.
So he went to probably you can check out the video. He went to TPUSC and he like called out people like Dr. Carlson. I mean, you just have to watch the speech. There's no way I can paraphrase it that you would get it, but it was pinpoint. He pretty much called him pretentious, and like a he's acting like a very cunning. He's acting very cunning, in a very cunning manner.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the summary. And then he also spoke about people like Megan Kelly as well that are playing defense, saying Candice Owens is my friend, so I don't want to attack her publicly. Instead, I'll do behind the scenes this thing, blah 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 blah. He just basically called out all of their BS. Like and well, he got like a standing ovation, or like everybody, most people rather, like done with the crap, like done with that crap of I'm just asking questions, I'm an American. Why can't we ask questions? I mean, the guy is so fake. Like he bought a house in Qatar. Like Tucker Carlson bought a house in Qatar, and then they were asking him like, what inspired him to buy a house in Qatar? And he's like, because I'm an American. I'm an American, and that's why I went to buy the house. I'm like, just like,
But
I mean, like,
like,
come on, bro. Like, are we primary school children? Like, come on. Come on, man. At least
that's
give the audience a bit of credit. We're not that dumb.
like you're asking those questions, but you know the intention
Yes, now.
where the
Candice
where
Owens
the
is not even asking a question. She's not even asking the questions. She's making allegations, basically. She said she's confident that Charlie Kirk was betrayed by some people in the leadership of Turning Point. And she even made a call that every donor, have been defrauded and that they should request for a refund of their money from the godforsaken organization, speaking about like Turning Point. So like that is not a question anymore. That's not a I'm investigating blah blah blah. That's a clear allegation that has been made against them. Obviously she didn't call names there because she knows saying a lawsuit go follow her. And maybe Turning Point too, they are being a bit, like controlled or measured in their response. Because by now they suppose don't serve her like some better lawsuits. Like this is how I did that, but don't serve her like some better
maybe
lawsuits.
they
Make
don't
she
want they
because
don't want
that's not a question, that's an allegation. Hmm?
they don't want to give her more publicity now. And like she even met with Charlie Kirk's wife, so I heard, and because the woman
Yeah.
was like, yeah, she will meet her so that they can discuss and she should stop. And she was even saying she will stop, and then she continued because obviously that's
She
what's giving her
continued now.
is giving her engagement. What me, I will just say though, for somebody like Candice Owens, me personally, like I just feel she's saying a lot of dumb shit that eventually will phase out. But you see Tucker, the kind of people his platform in, like those Fuentes undertone white supremacist guys that are looking for a platform
Mm-hmm.
is very, very, very dangerous. Honestly, it's very, very dangerous. He's not going to say it by himself, but he always gives them a chance to express those things, and he knows
To
what
do the
he's doing.
dirty work.
Yes, he knows what he's doing. He lays the ground for it and tries to act like all he's doing is allowing some sort of like free speech and open conversation. I mean, you whitewash Putin, Nick Fuentes, Daryl Cooper, and so many other people. Even the guy in Hungary that is a dictator. Like, okay, that one you can say he has his own sides too, sha. Cause even that one too is wary of Putin, just because
Yeah.
they are all in Eastern Europe and they know what Russia has done to them historically. So but you platform dictators. You are the person that will talk about how Ukraine is corrupt. Why are the US helping them? Why are they sending money? Blah blah blah. But you're shaking hands with Qatar, guy. Qatar is a sponsor of terrorism. Like, who
No
doesn't know?
money. He's
Like
buying a house
terrorism,
in Qatar.
like they still they do more
He,
like something sort of like a caste system. Like you
he
are
now
not
even
even.
he now even he came out to say that he went to Saudi Arabia, he went to Qatar, and he saw them practicing Sharia. And frankly, he didn't think that the Sharia was even as bad as they put it out to be in the West, because they had clean water, they had good roads, they had a functioning society, there was no minimal theft, blah 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 blah. So it's pretty much like posturing for Sharia law, like, oh, Sharia law is not as bad as
Ah, that
not as
nigga
bad as I thought.
was praising Venezuela because they are conservative. God. Like,
Meanwhile, you know go dare live in those places.
he
He just
can't
the
live
wrong
there
cover
now.
for
He
them.
just goes there as the big American guest. So they
Mm-hmm.
will lay the rug for him.
Don't mind
Obviously,
him.
they need to.
He never gets to face the real challenges on the ground.
Yeah.
It be
So
like
they
say make
just.
person like Ronaldo they talk say Saudi Arabia is a great country to live in. Like brother, you're
Eh,
Cristiano Ronaldo. Obviously, it's going to be a great country for you to live in.
that's the
Now go and be a
thing.
normal
Like,
everyday guy
yeah, they are
and be
going to
practicing Christianity there. You know
treat
what
you
is you know what's
different.
up.
As in, they are going to treat you different, obviously, because of your profile.
Exactly now.
Somebody that Saudi Arabia does not even allow, like,
Bro,
um,
I just yeah, go on, finish what you wanted to say.
yeah, Saudi Arabia does not allow like couples that are not married to be living together. And this guy
Bro, that's
came
even the
with
minimal thing. Abi, yeah. You
this
say
guy
if you see
came
am
with his
Abi.
girlfriend, and they've been there for
He
years,
bent the
and he
rule for
just
her.
proposed. I mean, you are going to get that special treatment. So stop trying to act like
No
you're
mind him.
a normal. Damn, man, that guy is
That's how you
look
know
at his
that. That's how
job.
you know that this thing, the Sharia law they are practicing there is for the poor. It's not for the rich.
Obviously,
Sharia for the poor,
it's not
liberalism
like
for the rich.
somewhere like Saudi. To be honest, is a complicated matter. Oh. Like if you
Bro, it's not
somebody like
complicated.
no, you have to look at their history and what they are now. Like somebody like Mohammed bin Salman, he's sort
Mhm.
of a reformist per se. In
Yeah,
Saudi
sure.
society,
I know now.
yeah, in Saudi society, they might look at him as a liberal as like, what are you doing? You are
Sure.
corrupting our society. And he has sort of tried to tame like a lot of the radical preaching that used to come out and all of
He
that.
arrested them now. The ones
Yeah,
that were
but
not arrested, he warned them.
yeah, he sort of silenced. So those sort of preachers, and he has allowed some things like women driving. Like women didn't used to drive in Saudi Arabia before.
Yeah.
Like he has like they are more like they are coming out. There is less a bit more restriction. They are no longer arresting them for like not covering completely and all of that. So
The thing is
I
like,
feel
yeah, no. I get what you're saying though. I'm not. I agree that bin Salman is like a revolutionary. Basically, it's actually a revolutionary when it comes to Saudi Arabia's like cultural aspect and transformation. He's a revolutionary. He transformed it. Saudi Arabia used to practice like the worst or one of the most extreme forms of Wahhabism. And
yeah.
Wahhabism is like a extreme Islamic fundamentalist sort of system. So he's definitely has improved the society a lot. As in before in Saudi Arabia, as a woman, you could not even travel without getting a consent from your brother or your father or a male relative. You can't travel out, you can't come out of your house like that. There must be a permission from your male relative. So you can imagine how restrictive that kind of society was. So he has definitely done well, and definitely there it's much more liberal than it used to be before. This fighting MMA fights that are happening in Saudi Arabia now, they used to happen like 10 years ago. You never have thought it was possible. So I give him
Yeah.
like credit for that, right? But I'm just saying that the way Tucker Carlson is trying to frame it, like, oh, the Sharia there is not. I mean, like in Saudi Arabia, first things first, there is no single existing church. Like, it is illegal to build a church in Saudi Arabia. You can't go and build a church in Saudi Arabia. No single church is in existence in Saudi Arabia. Not one church is in existence in Saudi Arabia. And Tucker Carlson is coming out and saying he's a very good Christian. He's a pragmatic Christian. He's a lifelong, fully sold out Christian. But he's posturing for Saudi Arabia, which has a society that has banned the existence of churches. You understand? There's not a single church in existence in Saudi Arabia, and then this Tucker Carlson is there posturing for them and saying, I'm a good Christian, but you can't call out their bluffs. Like, for real. Even the Qatar that he's saying he bought a house in, that, because he's an American and he's free to do that. Qatar, they don't allow churches to be built just anyhow. Number one, if you are building a church in Qatar, you're not allowed to display any sign of the cross. Your church must be like a normal hall, no sign of any cross. So you can't have like a Catholic church. You know the way Catholics always try to um,
Yeah.
put like a cross or something in their buildings
Yeah.
and all that. You can't have a Catholic church in existence in Qatar because it's banned. Then also in their society they have these like confined regions where they allow for other religions to practice. So like for example, let's say you're in Lagos State now, the government may allocate that, okay, um, Mushin
Yeah.
axis is where you are allowed to build, maybe like a section of Mushin is where you are allowed to build your churches and all of that. So all the churches are inside like one complex. So everybody,
Yeah.
every Christian has to go to that region in the in whatever part of this of the country they are in. You have to go to that region to go and worship. And obviously it's easier for the government to control, because the government can decide that, okay, you know what, we want to tame this Christianity, and then they lock down the regions and there's no other way to worship. So the Christianity there is heavily like regulated, like they choke it down, like they've choked it down. You understand? So meanwhile, Tokakasi will never talk about that kind of thing. But instead, he'll go about and say that the people that he hates the most are Christian Zionists. So, like, as in, the guy is just a sycophant. Like, he's pretentious and it's irritating to watch. But I know that it's only a matter of time before the momentum fades away, basically, because he doesn't have substance.
To me, I'm more worried about him than any other person, because he's a figure that all these white supremacists can maybe not listen to in terms of like they adore him, but they will see him as a pathway to become mainstream. You get, to me, I feel that is what he represents to them. They will use his pattern. That's why Nick Fuentes can try, and maybe when he comes on and is more mainstream, he now tries to talk logically and now imputes those his points just little by little. But when he's on his stream, he now says the most wild and insane things. And I feel
Mhm.
like many of them will hide under that sort of Dr. Carlson umbrella, and whenever you want to call them out publicly, they just come and be like, oh, we are allowed to have discussions. That is the sort of America that we
Mm.
know, blah blah blah. But deep down, where your intent and
Yeah.
where and the place you are coming from, you know that you are a supremacist and a racist.
But
Yeah,
like to me, I say like two things may I take from it is that, sorry for cut you short. Two things I take from it is that I like what Piers Morgan did, especially after Tucker Carlson when he went to interview Nick Fuentes. Like Fuentes was trying to or has been posturing because he's getting more and more mainstream. So there's like a sort of disillusion that people have about him that okay, maybe he's not as bad as they say. But I think when Piers hosted him and then he now went full on Fuentes mode, full on white supremacist mode, like he was like women should
yeah,
not be
women
allowed to
should.
vote, they should be shut down, they
Yes,
should not
yes,
speak, blah blah blah. So by the time he said all those things, like everybody now saw him for what he was. Like he couldn't really hide it. He even admitted he was a racist on Piers Morgan show. So some people
yeah,
are trying to like say that, oh, he was just trolling and all of that. But I mean, the record is there already. Like it's going to be hard to explain. You can explain tire.
yes,
So I like
but
what Piers did.
but they can dismiss it because maybe you know the kind of person Pierce. Pierce is first of all like I like him in a lot of ways, but you know that he's an attention seeker sort of. So maybe that's why people might will I say people might try and look at it like but it's Pierce. People like Tucker
Mm,
Carlson, Steve Crowder, they've been softballing this guy in their interviews.
mm,
That's my issue. And like I saw like two, three, four interviews that he had with like some US conservatives, like, and it's
mm.
obvious that these guys they were trying to like they were
Normalize
not
like his
yeah, they were giving
points,
him a
like
pass.
him.
No, I
Mm,
won't even say normalize, but they were giving him a pass. Like they were not asking him the hard
mm.
questions. They were
Tough
not.
questions. Yeah.
Yes, they were just trying to
Don't
make it
mind
look
them.
like
Like many of them, they know that his views are outlandish, but because of his anti-Israel, so they now try to cozy up to him. But they don't know that he may start with the Jews, but he will eventually come for all of them. Like Tucker Carlson that is trying to posture between Qatar. Do you really think like Nick Fuentes fans are going to be pro Qatar? They will never be pro Qatar. So eventually they'll throw Tucker Carlson under the bus as well. It's only a matter of time. That's why I feel like even though he's trying to whitewash them and all of that, but eventually even he himself will be consumed when those guys, or if those guys eventually take over.
yeah,
So
but
yeah,
like, to me, what I would say, like somebody like Doka, to me, in my own opinion, he has those thoughts, but he's not going to say it because of the kind of profile he is. He's not a Nick Fuentes that does not have anything to lose, really. To me, Toka does not mind that sort of society that Nick Fuentes is asking for. It's just that he will be met with more extremism than he thinks. That's
yeah,
that's usually the issue because someone like Fuentes now, he's the kind of society he's envisioning is a racist theological society. Do you understand? They are the they are
yeah,
the they are the sort of wise people that will tell you that they believe in the Bible, but the same Bible that will say you are all equal before God, they don't believe that side. They
yeah.
don't believe that verse.
All those ones, they are fake Catholics now. Nick Fuentes, Candice Owens, fake
they
Catholics.
don't they
I
don't
swear,
believe
like,
that part. They don't believe that part. They like deep down they believe like racial hierarchy like mad. Like they like is in them. So but people like Tucker now, maybe it might be okay with a racial caste system, where maybe the white people are in charge and other people are are way below. He does not mind it.
Mm.
But Nick Fuentes
Yeah.
is the type of person that will say, "Oh well, you believe that one, that's good, but your daughter is not supposed to vote." That's
Yeah.
when he will now, yeah, that's when they will now catch him like, "Oh, don't, that's not where your own ends. That's where our own will start. Oh." Your
Stats.
daughter should not go to university. She's not supposed to be in the workplace. She's supposed to be at home bearing children. That is what she's meant for. So, and somebody like Tucker is not going to believe that sort of thing. So
Yeah.
he wants a sort of
Controlled
liberal society,
extremism.
but yes, but controlled. But people like Nick Fuentes, man, they are all
They
well
want
and good.
all out.
Bro, they are all well
So,
and good with
I mean,
Nazi Germany,
like,
and they are
you
all
saw
right.
what. I mean, I just, like, Vivek is going for like governor of Ohio. I mean, like, come on. Vivek is like an exceptional person. Come on. Like, that guy, when it comes to oratory talent, he has it. When it comes to like, even proven excellence, I mean, he's a multi-millionaire. He's built great companies. Obviously, the companies have their own shady sides too, though. I won't lie about that. But
Obviously, like
he's made
he's
something out of
a farmer.
himself. Yeah, it's all this, biotech pharma.
Yeah.
Let's not call them scams, but biotech pharma complex. Yeah, let's call it the complex. So, the allegations that, oh, maybe there were some uh, scams or frauds, like with some of the drugs that he released and all of that, that kind of like wasted a lot of money, and he sold off shares or blah blah blah. But he argued that it was his parent company that ended up selling off the shares, not necessarily him per se, and he still owns the shares in the parent company. So yeah, there's that aspect. But like, I mean, like, when it comes to politics, the way he articulates his points, the positions and the ideologies that he stands for, those are like pro-American policies. Like, I don't know why anybody would be against Vivek. And those guys are against him simply because of Indian heritage. Like, if Vivek was a white guy, I'm sure there will not be so much animosity against him. So sometimes it's just sad to see, though. Sad to see. But that's the reality of the extremism that is confronting the right wing now.
You see, but I'll always be telling you this, bro.
Yeah, I mean, like,
I'll always be telling you
yeah,
this.
like,
These
yeah,
people,
I mean, I always knew that.
some of them
Yeah,
don't
but
have.
like,
Just continue.
the thing is this. We were already living inside left wing extremism, right? We were living in a time where you had to call a man a she. Like, you could not look at a man and call him sir or mister. They could literally lock you up. You could literally lose your entire career, your savings, everything that you've worked for in life. It could be taken away from you because of you used the wrong pronoun on somebody and they took offense, and they thought it was deliberate or something, 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 or you refused to bow to the woke mob. So we're already living in left wing extremism, and it was only getting more and more and more and more extreme. So at the end of the day, it's like there just had to be a counterbalance. And I always said it that whenever I start seeing extremism on the right, I'll be one of the first set of people to call it out. Right. So yeah, that's just, unfortunately, it's hard to maintain a balance in all these kind of things. And moderate politics does not really achieve much, to be honest. So it's unfortunate. But whenever you see the extreme, you just have to call it out. That's the only way to raise societal awareness so that we can ensure that it doesn't end up in either of the extremes, actually. So I mean that's just it for me though.
To me, though, I feel you can still be moderate and firm. Is if you know what you're doing, just
How
define. Hmm?
how do you want to be moderate with the sort of environment you had in Joe Biden's time in 2024 or
But
2023? I
that's
think
even
2024,
if I tell
2024 it became more conservative actually because you had to win elections. But 2023 Joe Biden, what sort of
but that's what I'm
moderation do
saying.
you want to
If I,
do there? It was either you bow to the mock mob or you spoke against it. There was no moderation in it.
but if I tell you I support somebody like Nikki Haley now, you say
Oh,
but that's a good moderate that knows where to draw
I'll
the
be
line.
like, Trump is a moderate.
Trump is not a
Trump is a
moderate for me.
moderate. In
To
when
me,
it comes to the the spectrum of opinions in American politics, Trump is a moderate to me. He has firm views on the important things, but he's not extreme. If Trump is not trying to say, "Oh, women should stop voting," "Oh, get out, get all the blacks out of the country, get all the um, like Jews or Muslims out of the country," or blah 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 blah. He's not trying to do
Trump,
any of all those extreme things. He's still on the side of moderate. You could say, okay, yeah, he's tilting more to the right, but when you look at the spectrum of ideas, to me, I still feel he's one of the moderates there. His rhetoric will
and
not be moderate, I admit, but his policies, when you look at them, you know, circumspectly, they are actually moderate. That's just my own opinion. Yeah.
to me, I don't think Trump is moderate per se. I just
Okay, which of
feel,
his policies are extreme?
I mean, for example, just the way he has been using ice to chase people up and down. That's just
So,
so.
what would be the moderate way
Hmm?
of handling illegal immigration? That over 10 million people came into the country illegally within 4 years. What would be your moderate way of handling that kind of situation?
But, but they've been deporting people. It's not like Trump is the first person ever to deport people from US. The moderate way is what George W. Bush, no, George Bush. See, see. Let me tell you something. Okay, let me tell you
Ah,
something. Yeah, yeah,
have you ever
he's
heard
not.
the term rhino? Have you ever heard the term rhino?
Chill. I've heard all those Republicans in the.
Okay,
See, let me
exactly.
let me
George
let
Bush
me
was
tell
a
you.
rhino.
Let me
They
tell you.
don't do any
Let me tell you.
conservative policies. Those guys were just there for, we are a Republican party. Like they were totally ineffective. At least Trump is
Wait,
effective to a degree.
calm down. Fine. On some policies, yes, but look, for example, in 2024, you won, like, you almost, more or less, you pulled the Latino vote. Do you get me?
Yeah.
You know that these people, deep down, they are conservative in their actions, like in what they do in their lifestyle. They are church people. They are the
Mm-hmm.
only reason that makes them vote Democrats is immigration.
Yeah.
That is the only thing.
Mm.
There is nothing wrong in you. Just, it might not be quiet, obviously. It won't be quiet, like quiet, obviously. But pick the the criminals. You've already shut the border, and the remaining hardworking people, guy, give them a pathway to citizenship, and you will own the Latino vote for at least 30 years. That's just that is a very, like your party, you will die and the Republican Party will keep having the Latino vote. But the moment you start harassing them, they will, like, even if it's an illegal immigrant, they will, like, if it's an illegal immigrant that is just working as a plumber, that is just working on a cotton field or something, and he's just trying to see how he can cater for his family, fine, he broke the law, nobody's going to argue that one. But if this person imbibes the American spirit that you are talking of, and how these people are really hardworking and all of that, I don't see anything wrong in putting that person on a path to citizenship, or at least not harassing them. And over time, they are like, your values and their own, for the most part, in terms of conservative values, they match. And these people are going to, like, they are going, fine, you've already shut the border, so it's not like any new person now is coming in. It's not like any new person now is coming. Even Democrats were shocked at the amount of Latino votes that Trump got. And this is somebody that is preaching against, like, illegal immigration, because what he always sort of said was like, is the criminals is coming for, and then you now started coming for other people. And the you know, the worst thing, he is not even deporting as many people as they are making it out to be. But the optics of the thing, of people wearing masks, and you're showing videos of them dragging them away, and their wife is crying, and you're dragging the man away, and he won't be able to see his children again, and things like that. When people see those sort of things, they are going to lose. Guy, Republicans lost a mayoral seat, the mayoral seat in Florida, in Miami. This is a state that they will, like, is like a red state already. Like, these people have not voted a Democrat mayor for 30 years, and they lost. Do you think things like that are not part of what makes people vote against you? People that voted for you, and then you're now pandering to your base that is always shouting like, oh, deport all of them, the white population is blah blah blah. If they're like, so in the end, I won't say Trump personally is a racist per se. I won't really say that, because maybe, like, obviously he's in his 80s, so maybe he grew up, he's all those people that grew up in a divided America, but they, as they were aging, they started, like people that had like black friends, and he's in media, he was in entertainment, he was so Mike Tyson is his very close friend, so he has mixed a lot with these people. He's in business, and in business you mix with everybody. It's not just a think tank. He's a pragmatic person. The problem is that what he believes his base is, and a part of his base, his most radical base, the ones that are radical and racist, he tries sometimes to pander to them. He tries sometimes to pander to them. Like, I even remember, like, there are some times that he says something. I'm like, why don't you just say this thing? Like, nobody's going to kill you. He was on Laura Ingram, where he was talking about how they still need the best talent abroad, because that is what is going to keep the US where it is. And she was like, don't we have enough in the US already? And he was like, no, that we still need it. And he is right. He is very, very right. That is what you built. That's why your country is a leading light in terms of technology, innovation, and all of that. You always source for the best brains and talents from all over the world. Make them feel American. Every other country, eh, when people come there, they they are always reminded that you are from this place. Do you understand? But in America, it's only in America that people will become American. Like they are very proud to be American. They are very proud to be American, not for passports, not for being for access. They are proud that I'm in America and I'm an American. So, and this is what your country has been able to do for these people. He said that thing. Did MAGA base turn on him? No. But if you are trying to pander to these people and try to show this sort of, bro, if you show 5 of those videos for election campaign and then say, Latino community, you voted for Trump last time, look at what he's doing to hardworking people. He said only criminals before, but look at the case of this man. All he did was work in a factory, and Trump and ICE raided the factory with their mask, and they dragged him out of the factory. He didn't even pack his bags, they threw him away. Like, when you are seeing stories like that, no matter what it is, like, you will just feel, come on now. Come on. Like, anyway, as I said, I'm not that surprised. I'm not that surprised because there is a base of the Republican Party that is like that, and they are very active.
So, so to me, actually, to an extent, I agree with you. Actually, like I feel, obviously, the bulk of the illegal immigrants have been Latinos, so that's why they have been disproportionately affected. Because many of them come from Mexico, from Venezuela, Cuba, and the likes. So it's even though Trump is trying to like deport illegal immigrants, and some of them may be violent and criminal and all of that. But ultimately, most of them will end up being Latinos just because of the fact that they are much more closer to the US. Right. The other illegal immigrants would be like people that committed visa fraud, that maybe they overstayed their visa or they were dishonest in some of the filings for their visa. But compared to the vast number of illegal immigrants that came from the border, it's not really as prominent, at least based on what I know. So what I'm just saying is that yeah, can be much more strategic in the relationship with the Latinos and all of that. I think he can be much more strategic with that. But ultimately, like the 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 base of the problem, or the core of the problem, is that when you have over 10 million people come into the country illegally within a space of 4 years, that's a significant challenge to any country, basically, because these people are not even coming in legally, number one, so you can't really like track them and say, okay, let's try to assimilate them, or at least follow up on them and all of that. These are people that you don't even know who they are, right? So it's a strain on the country. I admit that yes, he has been pandering to the right wing base excessively, especially in that issue of deportations and all of that. And I probably could have liaised with the Latino community and all of that. But Trump is what who he is actually. He just if he's convinced that something has to be done, he will do it irrespective of whether or not it's good for the polls or not. And I think that's the issue with conservatives like George Bush and the likes, those ones they are very ineffective because of the fact that they are more focused on politics than policies. You understand? And when you are focused on politics more than the policies, you become ineffective as a politician and you end up fading away. That's why look at the Republican Party during George Bush era. They were just like during George Bush and Obama era, they were just like present, like they were marking attendance, but they were very ineffective. Like the woke, the radical left was able to take over power in front of them, their presence, and they were able to do anything about it. You understand? They were pretty much just conserving. I mean, the Republican Party was just moving left,
They
left,
were
left, left, left,
they were
left
they were
on
they
every,
were
virtually
beating
every issue.
we were beaten to submission. That's just the truth. Like
Exactly, the
we were
country was
scared.
just constantly moving to the left, and they were just conserving previous policies that they had antagonized. So it's like they were so ineffective, and that's what gave rise to the likes of Trump, and now you're seeing more radical right wing this thing. So I mean, it's a difficult decision. I still feel like Trump is more of a moderate compared to some positions that are within the space. I still feel he's more of a moderate, to be honest.
To be honest,
I feel that
I
there are
feel
some
that
parts of his policies that are radical. Like, yeah, obviously you can argue that the optics of like the eye stuff is not so good, but still the bulk of the arrests have been people that have committed felonies. Those are still the bulk of the arrests. So people that were innocent or have not committed any felony in the US have also been arrested, but they are not like the primary targets or like the main proportions of people that have been arrested. The major proportion of people that are arrested are people that have been people that have that have committed felonies basically. So that's just it on that. But still, overall, I still feel like even though yes, he has some parts of his policies that maybe you could say that tilting to the extreme, but like overall, circumspectly, when you look at the way America is at this point in time, he's still within 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 like a moderate position, or at least based on common sense principles. Like I mean,
like
look
I
at
mean,
someone like AOC. Look at someone like AOC. Look at someone like Gavin Newsom. Those guys are extreme radicals. Like they want open borders in the country. Like I mean, that's a crazy stuff. And
I
you look at someone like Steve Bannon and Nick Fuentes and the likes. Those ones they want like a pure, white nationalist state and all of that. So and Alex Jones. So those ones like you have those extreme polarities and all of that within the party. So Trump has aspects that he's still very much in moderation. Some aspects where he tilts to the right, like or pandas, you could say is pandering to the extreme right. But I still feel like overall, when you look at the Overton window, he's still very much in the middle and he's effective. That's another thing because a lot of times people that are in the middle or moderate they tend to be ineffective, and that's why a lot of people like move.
well, that's
They end
not
up moving
true.
more and more to the radical. It's true.
But that's not true.
Tell me
That's
one.
not
Tell
true.
me one moderate president that has been effective within the last 20 years
Within
anywhere
the
in the
last
world.
20 years, anywhere in the world,
Yes, a
anywhere in
moderate
the world.
president.
Okay, so sometimes the issue is that maybe maybe we are looking at it from the point of maybe post COVID or something. But if you want to say anywhere in the world, like let me see,
You
I
can't
would
even
say,
mention UK. Yeah,
hmm?
look at UK for example. Look at the UK for example. You have a conservative government that has been in power for over 20 years in the UK. The conservatives have been ruling them. Yet the UK is as liberal as as they come basically. You still have loads of illegal migration happening in the UK. They can't even stop the boats from coming in. They've not been able to solve any problem of the illegal migration. It keeps on skyrocketing, and that's a conservative government, but they are moderates in quotes. So that's why people move to the extreme, because the moderates are ineffective. They are just there saying, "Oh, I'm a conservative government." Like those guys are just conservative in name only. That's why you start seeing people like Reform Party. They are gaining traction in the UK because the so-called conservatives that are supposed to at least institute conservative policies or actions, they're not doing anything. They're just posing as conservatives. They are not. There's nothing conservative about them. So I've not seen any moderate politician per se within the past 20 years that I can say, okay, this is an example of a moderate government that is doing well and that is effective basically in instrumenting the policies that they campaigned on. So I mean, I've not seen any of that. You
Well,
can convince me otherwise though, if you have.
well, to be honest, maybe you might have a you might have a point on this one, but me, I just wanted to speak more like maybe historically. I just wanted to see more of historically the people that have
Okay,
been,
historically, who has been a moderate this
who
thing?
has been a moderate that
I
was
mean,
really
obviously, to me, I feel like the politics nowadays has gone is way different from how it used to be like those days. But anyway, Sha, you can go ahead though.
okay. Like this, the guy that succeeded, and starting from World War II days, FDR, the person that succeeded FDR was sort of radical. The person that succeeded him, that's Harry Truman, more moderate.
Okay.
One of the most, to me personally, like one of the most underrated US presidents ever, and that's because he was a moderate. If we
What
finish
policies did they institute?
if we finish this discussion, go and go and check General Eisenhower. Go and check General Eisenhower. Like as a
Is it
president
Dwight
now.
Eisenhower?
Yes, Dwight Eisenhower, yes. As a
Okay.
president now, not as a this not as a general or in World War II, as a president.
Okay.
This guy was the first person that he set the motion for like to end racial segregation. He was the first person that placed the laws that like black and white soldiers who were now living in the same like environment. They were eating in the same place. Do you understand?
Okay.
Yeah. And to do that in America at that time, like you need to have like obviously you need to have like steel to do that.
But you know that there was a factor of World War Two is still in place.